Hi, I am Aisha again. I'm your support engineer for Educore Systems. Educore helps in the learning, evaluation, and performance management. Educore is a simple integrated platform on cloud which helps in collaboration between students, teachers, and parents to improve the effectiveness of teaching by empowering students and teachers with anytime, anywhere, easy to use tools. So the feature you have selected here is user endorsement. So let's see what is user endorsement. It is nothing but the process of allocating classes and subjects to the teachers to teach and assigning subjects for the students to learn. So what is the need of user endorsement? Why a user endorsement is required? This can be done when the student and the teacher is added into the system. No, it is required because every academic year the subjects assigned for the students and teachers will change, and in between an academic year also this might have any change might happen. So user endorsement is required. So who is going to do user endorsement? Anyone can do this process. Whoever is doing this process in the school for the past years can do this process. It may be a HOS who will be assigning the subjects for the teachers. Then the HOS can do this process inside the Educore system. If the class teacher is assigning the subjects for students, then the class teachers can do this process. Even subject teachers can do this process, especially the optional subject teachers, because they will know who all students are learning their subject. So let's see how the user access the user endorsement inside the Educore system. Let's see how to get to user endorsements. So when the user logins, at first what she can see is her dashboard. So every successful login is brought to the dashboard. From the dashboard, click on the menu on the top left corner. Click on the menu. When the menu is clicked, all the menus available can be seen. From that, click on user management. From the menu list, select the user management. So when user management is selected, several submenus are listed. From that, click on user endorsement. So when the user selected the user endorsement, a page where a filter is provided can be seen. So this is how we are accessing the user endorsement inside the Educore system. So let's move to the next topic, that is how we are going to do the subject endorsement for students. Let's see how the subject endorsement for students are done inside the Educore system. So at first the user have to select the user management from their user endorsement, and as I said earlier, this page is visible for the user. So for doing the subject endorsement for students, select the role as student, because we are going to do endorsement for students, not for teachers or any other users. We are here going to do the subject endorsement for students. So select the role as student, select the session, curriculum, class, batch, and click on search. If suppose you are a class teacher and you are going to do endorsement for your class, so you might do this process frequently. Then instead of selecting all the fields every time when you visit the page, what you can do is select all the details and enter a search name and save the search. So when the next time when you access the user endorsement for your class, you can select from the drop down provided here. Instead of selecting and filling all the fields here, you can just select from this said thing inside this drop down. So let's see what will happen after selecting that particular class. So we have now successfully selected the details here, and now click on the search button. When you click on the search button, a list of users is generated. So here you can see two tabs. One is the users tab and other is the endorsed users. In the users tab, you can see all the students who have not even one subject assigned to them. So in the users tab, you can see all the students who have not even one subject assigned to them. But in the endorsed users list, what you can see is at least one subject will be assigned to those students. So the users list will generate all the students in this class who have no subject endorsed to them, and the endorsed users will generate the list of students who are in this class who have at least one subject assigned to them. So let's see how we are going to do subject endorsement for students who have no subject endorsed. For that, from the users list, the user can click on the select all for selecting all the students, or can select one by one, or can select each student, or click on the select all for selecting all the students in the users list. After selecting the students, click on the subject endorsement. So when the subject endorsement is clicked, you can see that all the students who the teacher has selected, teacher or the any other user who have selected is seen here. All the students' names are listed here, and you can see an unassigned subjects drop down and an assigned subjects drop down here. So for assigning the subjects, what the teacher had to do is click on the unassigned subject and select the subjects from that drop down. All the subjects which are not yet assigned will be listed inside the unassigned subjects, and select that as unassigned subject and select the subjects which need to be assigned for the selected students. After selecting that, click on the assign button. So when the assign button is clicked, system will ask you to save for which all students these selected subject need to be assigned. All the students selected will be shown inside this pop-up, where the teacher or the user who is doing this process have to select once again who all to which all students these subjects need to be assigned. After selecting the students, click on confirm button. When clicked on confirm button, the changes are successfully saved. You can see that those subject selected is assigned to only one student. That is why this is showing like this here. This is how the subject endorsement for students are done inside the EduCore system. So let's move to the next topic, how to do the editing of the subject endorsement. How we are editing the subject endorsement that we have already made. Now we have seen how to add the subject endorsements. Now let's see how to edit the already added subject endorsement. For that, from the user management, select the user endorsement and go to the page will redirect it to this page. From that, once again select the role as student and search for the class. So as I said while telling about the adding process of subject endorsement, I said very clearly that the endorse users list will generate the list of students who have at least one subject assigned to them in this particular class. For the selected class, the list of students who have at least one subject assigned is listed in the endorse users list. From that, select the student which the user have to edit. Select the student and click on edit endorsement. When clicked on edit endorsement, the user can see all the selected students and the subject assigned to each students. The subject assigned to each students are seen here, and here you can see that the subject endorsed for each students are different. If suppose the teacher or the user doing this process want to delete a particular subject for a student, then she can click on the delete icon across that student's name. If the same subject need to be removed for all the students, instead of deleting for each and every student, what the teacher can do is from the assigned subject list, select the subjects which need to be removed. If for multiple students, if a specific subjects need to be removed, instead of deleting from each and every student, select from the assigned subject list. Select from the assigned subject list the subject which need to be removed and click on the delete button. When clicked on the delete button, the system will ask the user to select for which all students these subjects need to be removed. Similarly, like what we did for the assigning subjects, the system will ask the user to select the students which the subjects need to be removed. So the user can select the students and click on the confirm button. Then that selected subject will be deleted for all those students who are selected from here. What if suppose the teacher or the user doing this process want to add more subjects for the students in the list? For that, from the unassigned subject list, select the subjects which need to be assigned and once again click on the assign button. When the user clicks on the assign button, it will ask for which all students these subjects need to be added. For that, select the students and click on the confirm button. So the subjects which is selected from here will be added to those students which are all selected from this list. So now we have seen the process of adding subject endorsement for students. Now we have seen after adding if any changes need to be made, then how to edit that subject endorsement. Now let's see how to view the subject endorsed for a particular student. Now we have seen the adding process and the editing process. After adding, if any changes need to be made, if suppose the subjects endorsed for a particular student need to be removed or need to add more subject, we can do by editing the subject endorsement. Then for adding also we have seen these two processes. Now let's see how to view the subject endorsed for a particular student. If we want to see the subject endorsed for a particular student, then we have to let's see how to view the subject endorsed for a particular student. For that, as I said earlier, for viewing the endorsed subject list for a particular student, we have to select the class and batch and click on the search. And from the endorsed users, because the endorsed users list will show the subject endorsed for the particular student. In the user list, you can see only those students who have no subject assigned so far. And the endorsed users list will show this list of students who have at least one subject endorsed to. And you can see that across every child's name there is a view subjects button is shown. You can see a view subject button here. When you click on that view subject button, you can see all the subject endorsed for that particular student. For only that student's endorsement can be seen by clicking on the view subject icon, view subject button on that child name. So far we have learned the subject endorsement for students, how to do the subject endorsement for students, how we are adding subjects for the students to learn. If then we have learned about editing the subject endorsement, that is if any changes need to be made for that added subjects, that also we have seen. Now we have seen how to view the subject endorsed for a particular class. So we have seen three steps, we have covered three steps. Now let's move forward to how to do subject endorsement for teachers. So we have covered the student side. Let's see how the subject endorsement for teachers are done. This is very much similar to the student endorsement process with some differences. For that, from the user management, select user endorsement. Instead of selecting the role as student, here the user who is going to do this process have to select the role as teacher. So the role has to be selected as teacher and select the class and click on the search button. When clicked on search, similar to the user and endorse users that we have generated for the student side, here also you can see the users and the endorse users. But the users list here shows those teachers who have no subject assigned in this particular class. That is, this teacher may have a subject assigned in another class, but not in the selected class. So the users list shows here the teachers who have no subject assigned in this particular class. These teachers may have a subject endorsed in another class. And the endorsed users list will show the list of teachers who have subject assigned in this particular class. So this is the difference between the users and endorsed users for the teacher side. In the users list, it will show all the teachers who have no subject assigned in this particular class, and the endorsed user list will show the list of teachers who have subject assigned in this particular class. In the user list, the teacher may have a subject assigned in some other class but not in the selected class. So now let's see how the subject endorsement is done. For doing the subject endorsement, the user have to select the teachers and click on the subject endorsement button. When the subject endorsement button is clicked, the page is redirected to something like this, where you can see across each teacher's name there is a select subject drop down. So to do the subject endorsement, the user have to select the subjects for each teachers and click on the save button. So across each teacher's name there is a select subject drop down. When the user selects from the select subject, select the subjects and click on the save button. This is how the subject endorsement for teachers are done. But what if two teachers are teaching the same subject in the same class? We need to set a main teacher, right? So let's see how we are going to set the main teacher for a subject. Here you can see that two teachers are teaching the same subject in the same class. Here two teachers are teaching the same subject in the same class. So when the user clicks on the save button for saving this endorsement, the system will ask the user to select the main teacher for that particular subject. Here you can see that for this particular subject, two teachers are there, and the system will ask the user who is doing this process to select the main teacher and click on save. Select the main teacher here and click on save. After selecting the main teacher only, the subject endorsement done is saved successfully. So we have learned how to do the subject endorsement, how to set the main teacher if two teachers are teaching same subject in a particular class. Now let's moving forward for our next question, that is how to set class teacher for a class. So class teachers will be there for each class. So let's see how the class teachers are assigned for each class. To set the class teachers, this process can be done while doing the subject endorsement for teachers. You can see across each teacher's name a drop down shown here. Select as class teacher is shown here. Across each teacher's name you can see a select as class teacher drop down is shown. When the select as class teacher drop down is selected, it will show the current selected class, and to set that particular teacher as a class teacher, check that checkbox and click on the save button. Then the class teacher is also saved during the subject endorsement process. So three processes can be done at the same time while doing the subject endorsements for teachers. So we can do the subject endorsement for teachers, that is assigning of subjects. Then we can set the main teacher, we can set the class teacher at one go itself. So let's move to the next topic, that is how to view the subject endorsed for a teacher in a particular class. To view that, select the teacher and click on the search button to generate the list. And from the endorsed users, as you know that when a class is selected and clicked on endorsed users, all the teachers who have at least one subject endorsed in that particular class is listed. So click on the endorsed users, and here you can see across each teacher's name a view subject button is shown. To view the subject endorsed for that particular teacher, click on the view subjects. Then the user can see the subject endorsed for that particular teacher for that class. Here you can see that for this teacher in this class, these three subjects are endorsed. So we have learned subject endorsement for teachers, how to set the main teacher for a specific subject, how to set the class teacher for a class, and how the subject and how to view the subject endorsed for a teacher in a particular class can be done. So we have covered here the process of subject endorsement for students and subject endorsement for teachers. I think all the process is very clear for you. Thanks for watching the video. Thank you.